Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time again to try and see if we can get some wins with our favorite Pokemon. We're going to be continue to climb through tier A tier with a team that has most of our favorite Pokemon in it. Latias, Scizor, Swampert, all the All-Stars. Let's see what we can do. Okay, and here comes our first match of the day. And oh, another Latias. That's cute. A lot of the Latias I see online are typically more support than anything. Looks like they've got a fair number of Pokemon weak to Fairy, or at least Urshifu and Latias are. Tapu Fini, that doesn't shock me very much. Looks like I'll be starting with my normal strategy, Latias and Zacian. Their Urshifu, if Dark type, might be a problem for us, but maybe, because Zacian can still use Play Rough on it, if necessary. I do not have to activate a Latias' weakness policy, after all. In my third slot, I will take Scizor. Even though they have Charizard, I'm not actually very nervous about that, because that's their only Fire type, and I'm sure that's like the only Pokemon they have that has Fire type moves. And once again, without Fire types, I'm not very nervous about anything as long with Scizor. All right, let's see how this goes. I've got a good feeling. I kind of like this battle theme. It's kind of crazy though. Hopefully, hopefully it shows up okay in the recording. Okay, Latias and Metagross. I have a feeling I know what they're going to do, but I don't know for sure. But this is really good for us. That was not the strat I was expecting them to start with. Now, my Latias has a lot of hit point and special attack investment. She has a little bit of speed, but just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use Max Flare on Metagross, and then I'll use Brutal Swing to hit everybody, which is good because it'll hit both of them super effectively. And even though it'll do a lot of damage to our Latias, it will also activate our weakness policy. So we might be capable of getting a very early lead here. I feel like a lot of people do not expect me to Dynamax Latias. I feel like that's one reason why this team works so well. It definitely has the element of surprise. I've definitely noticed that the majority of battles I lose online tend to be against strategies I do not expect. One of my most recent battles, I fought a Dynamax Rotom, which I was not expecting at all. Okay, awesome. That Brutal Swing took half off both of them. And now our weakness policy is activated. Hopefully we'll be able to attack next too. Maybe. Metagross's weakness policy was also activated, but that's okay. Latias uses Tailwind, okay. I definitely expected that, but I don't think Metagross is going to be able to knock us out with us. Okay, no, we were able to live that. Thank goodness for the hit point investment. Now Latias uses Max Flare, and Metagross goes down. So we're already in a pretty good spot. I'm aware, of course, putting up Sunlight means that my Max Geyser will do less. And it also means that Charizard will do more, assuming it comes out next. But at least we'll be okay. At least we'll be okay for a little while longer. However, considering what they've done, I think what they're going to be trying to do next is they're probably going to attempt to Dynamax Charizard. And sadly, with Tailwind up, they might be doing a lot against us. Well, I don't want to use Brutal Swing because I don't want to knock out my own Latias, although I'm pretty sure they're going to in a moment here. I'm nervous that if I keep Zacian in, I could just switch to Swampert, actually. I'm going to switch to Swampert and see if that will tank anything they throw at me. Because I'm pretty sure Charizard's going to attempt to hit it with a Fire-type attack. Yes, if G-Max Charizard, I'm hoping will use its G-Max Fire attack. I can't remember the name of it. Wildfire, that's it. But even though it's boosted by Sunlight, my Swampert's holding a Assault Vest, so hopefully it'll be able to tank it. And thankfully, Tailwind does not last that long, so we should be able to outlast it. And Mystical Fire did not knock out Latias. That's great for us. G-Max Wildfire, and it hits Swampert, okay. But it only takes about 2/3. That's good for us. And now we'll be able to use Max Geyser. Okay, that was a Life Orb boost. That's definitely good for us. And now I'll be able to reset that with water. This doesn't do very much damage either, but that's okay. I'm just glad that Latias has lasted for as long as she has. Now that we've got rain set up, that G-Max Charizard cannot, oh shoot, I forgot about Wildfire. Oops. At least G-Max Charizard cannot set Sunlight back up, because its G-Max attack does not do that. And I'll bring Zacian back out now. Even though Charizard has a Life Orb boost, I think we're going to be able to do a lot of damage to it. Maybe. I could take Scizor, but Scizor really hates fire types. And I definitely do not want to have it engage with Charizard at all. Sadly, I guess I could try. Maybe I should attempt a build with Scizor that has Protect. Although, frankly, I'm nervous that even with Protect, it wouldn't be able to survive any fire type attacks. They might be able to knock out both my Pokemon in this round, but I'm going to try to get something off. I'll use Bullet Punch on Latias, and I'm going to use Liquidation on Charizard. Although, I have a feeling that Latias is probably going to go after Swampert, and Charizard will go after Scizor. I guess we'll just see what happens. Alright, at least my Bullet Punch goes first, but with all that special defense investment... Oh, that was a crit and it still didn't knock it out. Shoot. Bulldoze? Okay. For some reason, I had forgotten that Latias can learn that. Both of those Latis have a lot of different attacks they can use, don't they? Well, awesome. They chose to use Max Airstream, which boosts their speed, but that's not going to defend them against Liquidation, which I'm about to hit them with. So that's kind of exciting. I've been wanting to use this. And my Citrus Berry also takes effect, which is nice. I wonder if they were expecting that to knock it out. Awesome. Way to go, Swampert. That's what I'm talking about. We're definitely a good spot after that. I was really expecting it to use a Fire-type attack, so that's great for us, honestly. That Latias is not able to do very much on its own, but obviously Wildfire knocks us out. Those Kanto G-Max attacks are very strong, but I guess the good news is they don't set up Weather, which is really good for us. Okay, so here comes their Whimsicott, I guess. Here comes my Zacian. So we're in a pretty good spot now. Wildfire is still in effect, however. But their Latias is very close to death. Well, excuse me, sorry. Their Latias is very close to a nice nap. So I'm going to go ahead and Bullet Punch on Latias. I'll use Behemoth Blade on Whimsicott. See what that does for us. They might try to protect. I really don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, Whimsicott still has a few tricks up its sleeve thanks to Prankster, but since it's the last Pokemon left, I don't know what it's going to be able to do. Oh, Charm. Okay, fair enough. That's not a bad idea, actually. I wonder if that'll be able to help it. Luckily, Scizor still uses Bullet Punch, and Latias goes down. Sorry, Latias. You're the cutest one ever, but I'm afraid my Latias is cuter. Speaking of which, I recently drew a picture of Latias. I'll have to show you guys the speed paint I did with her if you're interested. And it seems that the Charm was not enough to prevent that from almost knocking out Whimsicott, except for the Pokerstash, obviously. And their Tailwind is pettered out. Time to end this. I'll go ahead and Bullet Punch. I've definitely got a lot of value out of Scizor this round, which is awesome for us. And I'll use Behemoth Blade on Whimsicott to finish this out here. And the battle was cancelled. Alright, very good match for us. That one went really well. We tend to do pretty good against G-Max Charizard. They almost had us at the middle of the match there, but we definitely turned it around, so that's good. Alright, let's see if we can keep going. Gained a little bit. Better than nothing. This is definitely the most battles I've ever had in a ranked season. I've never had this many before. It's usually just like 4 or 5. I usually lose interest pretty quickly solely because even though I'm trying to use all my favorite Pokemon, I tend to have a lot of trouble making a proper synergy with them. Sometimes I just simply fill up a team with all my favorite Pokemon and that's it. And sadly, that doesn't always do a very good job, but this team seems to finally be what I was looking for. And I have experimented with another Pokemon to learn Brutal Swing other than Zacian, so when this season inevitably ends, I will not have to worry about this team completely losing its worth. Okay, once again, lots of common choices here. We've got Tapu Fini, Landorus, not Therian. That's kind of interesting, but it probably knows Prankster. I can't remember what Landorus, non-Therian Landorus' ability is, actually. Rillaboom, Incineroar, Porygon 2. Lots of common choices here. But yet, I'm not too nervous. Obviously, that Calyrex is very strong, but it's also very slow. So I think we'll be able to knock it out very quickly, actually. I'll go ahead and start with the normal strategy. They only have Incineroar, so I'm going to go ahead and bring out Swampert and Scizor as well. Once again, Regigigas and Weezing are kind of just there to distract the opponent, to make them think that's what I'm going to start with. And I do use them sometimes, but only sometimes. Like, I sometimes bring out Weezing against, like, Sun teams, because it shuts down, like, their Drought, which is nice. But I haven't had a very good example of that for a little while here. No worries. Alright. They start out with Porygon and Incineroar. Not a huge shock for me. Once again, even though Incineroar will intimidate us, Zacian's Interpret Sword basically negates it, which is nice. I'm not sure about what Porygon's going to do. It's probably going to use, I'm assuming it's going to use Thunder Wave, and Thunder Wave's not good for us. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get some early damage here. I'm going to use Brutal Swing like I tend to do. Luckily, this will probably not do as much to Latias. And then I'll use Max Geyser on Incineroar. I do not much care for Incineroar, and I'd like to get rid of it as soon as I can. Alright, let's see what happens. Doesn't look like they're going to be Dynamaxing either of those Pokemon, because they're both more support. But we'll see what happens. I've got a good feeling about this. I'd love to be able to knock out Incineroar before it gets any of its parting shots out. Obviously that Brutal Swing did not do very much to them, but it didn't do very much to us either, so we're definitely in a good spot. And luckily, even though it wasn't very much damage, what we just did was plenty enough to stop their Focus Sashes, so this will hopefully knock an Incineroar with little trouble. Yes! Excellent! Incineroar is no more. That rhymed. Okay, this is a great start for us. I'm not a fan of Incineroar, so I'm glad that we got it out. I'm nervous that Porygon 2 will probably attempt Thunder Wave, or Trick Room. That's definitely a possibility too. In fact, that makes a lot of sense because Glastrier will probably be able to do a lot of damage to us. That is assuming it is able to hit both of us. It's not going to be able to hit both of us. And we both have moves that can hit it very hard. So I have a good feeling about this. And that Porygon 2 does not worry me in the slightest. I'm going to go ahead and have both of my Pokemon attack Calyrex. In fact, I'll have Calyrex use Max Wormwind, because even though that doesn't have any super effective damage, it will lower Calyrex's attack. And frankly, with our buff to, okay, they are going to be Dynamaxing Calyrex. Not a very big shock, honestly. But it doesn't have any stat boosts right now. And now that it's been Dynamax, it's not going to be able to hit both of us. So even though it might be able to one-shot one of our Pokemon right now, it's not going to be able to one-shot both of them. I'm actually hoping they go after Zacian. Let's see what they do. Eerie Impulse? I can't remember what that does. Oh, that's what it does. Max Quake? Okay, that'll probably knock out, yeah, that's gonna hurt. Ouch. I did not realize that Porygon 2 got Eerie Impulse. That's a very good counter, actually, because now my Latias is back to normal special attack, and they have a special defense boost. As happy as I am about knocking out Incineroar, it definitely seems as though I should have been focusing on Porygon 2 instead. Because that did not do very much damage. But at least it counteracted Chilling Neigh, so that's something, I suppose. Let's see. Rain is still up, so Swampert could still do a lot of damage. Although, I'm not sure. Because Calyrex does a lot of physical defense. Or excuse me, this version of it does anyway. Scizor might be a good option, so I'll bring out Scizor instead. See if I can get some Sword Stance and start doing some damage. For a later battle, I might actually attempt to use my other Scizor. I have two Scizor. The one I'm using now is specially defensive, but the other one is primarily offensive and carries a Choice Band, which tends to do a lot. So I want to see. I might actually try that in the next match, perhaps. We'll just see what happens. I have a feeling they're probably going to use Eerie Impulse and Latias again, which doesn't actually bother me that much. I'll go and use Max Wormwind again because it lowers Calyrex's attack again. I don't want that thing to get too many stat boosts. I do tend to have a little bit of trouble with Glastrier. It's a tough Pokemon to deal with sometimes. Alright, they use Max Knuckle, which will boost their attack, but other than that, it's not going to do enough damage to us. Both of my Pokemon are pretty bulky, especially against fighting type moves. We might as well keep using we'll keep using Draco Meteor for, we'll keep using Max Wormwind for as long as we're available as a Dynamax. But this might be Latias' last Dynamax turn. Okay, that's okay. We don't need to do that much damage, because now that Scizor has a Sword Stance, we might actually be able to get a lot of value out of it. Alright, Latias is no longer next, but that's okay, she's still as cute as ever. Let's see. Rain is still up, that's good for us. We have Brick Break, which I believe it does a lot of damage to Porygon too, but obviously this Scizor has like 0 speed investment, so I am nervous about losing the opportunity to actually use it. I'm going to use Brick Break on Porygon too. And for Latias, I'll have use, I'm going to try using Mystical Fire on Calyrex to lower its stats some more. Even though it's not a special attacker, I'll do whatever I can. Eerie Impulse, yes. That's a really good attack, actually. I need to look into doing that. I have a Porygon 2 as well, I just don't use it very often. Alright, Max Knuckle comes out again. It's still not going to knock us out, though. And luckily now we'll be able to take advantage of our Surges Berry. And I think that was also Calyrex's last Dynamax turn. I wonder how many turns Trick Room has left. Oh, I did not realize it had a weakness policy. For some reason I thought his item had already been activated. No, no big deal. Frankly, its attack is rather high already, so I don't know if the weakness policy is going to really help it that much. Perhaps they were banking on that. Let's check out how many turns of Trick Room are left. Just one. Both Rain and Trick Room only have one left. So let's go ahead and Bullet Punch on Calyrex, get that out of there, and see if we can do a little bit of damage with Draco Meteor. Because I think that Latias is not going to be doing very much damage at all right now anyway, so we might as well... Actually, let's see. Her special attack is down 2 right now. I actually think I'm actually going to switch her out and bring out Swampert instead. That'll at least reset her her negative stats. And meanwhile, Swampert is pretty bulky, so even if Glastrier knocks it out, at least Latias will still be around. Oh no, it almost got it. Okay, that's fine. Glacial Lance might hurt a little bit. Oh, it hits both of us? I've never actually seen this attack before. I didn't know it did that. Okay, ouch. That hurt a lot. I did not know that attack hit both party members. I think I should definitely consider a, I think I should definitely consider a Scizor that has a little bit more attack investment. That would have been huge if we had been able to knock out Glastrier right then. I wonder honestly how close that was. I wonder what the percentage chance was that we would have one-shotted that right then. Obviously, the investment is nice, but on the other hand, well, okay. Calyrex uses Protect. I didn't know it learned that. Oh, excuse me. I didn't know it had that. I'm pretty sure every Pokemon can learn Protect, though. At least we'll get a little bit of damage, but not very much. I'm aware that Porygon 2 is very specially defensive. And now it's going to do Eerie Impulse. Eek. I think this is game. But at least we still outspeed Calyrex, so we're going to be able to knock it out no matter what, no matter how low our special attack is. After this, I'm going to look into perhaps slightly changing my my Scizor's stats to see if I can give it a little bit more attack. Obviously, having the he's definitely having the defenses is nice, but it'd be nice if we can give it at least something more offensively. We really needed to knock out. We really needed the chance to knock out Calyrex during that last turn. Oh well, I think this is the end of this game. But frankly, I think we did okay, and we learned a lot, so that's honestly what matters the most. I don't see Glass Tier Calyrex as often. Okay, they're kind of flexing on us now. maybe they expected us to cancel. I don't really like canceling matches very much. There's really nothing to be gained by doing that. Might as well go out swinging. And get a crit even. That's kind of nice. That would have been nice against Calyrex, wouldn't it? Oh well. But Latias is fighting as hard as she can, because she is the best. And I'll always use Latias. Even if some may consider her not that good, she's absolutely my favorite Pokemon, and I'll use her as often as I can. Perhaps I can look into using Calyrex at some point too. But I rather like Zacian, honestly. I think I'm going to stick with that. It seems to counter a lot of other legendaries I see. Well, except for, I suppose, these. Still, I think we did pretty well. Good job, Latias. Way to go. I think our next match will go a lot better. But this will probably be the end of this video, at least for now. In the meantime, I'm going to be looking into a few adjustments to my Scizor. I have a good feeling I'm going to be able to make some good adjustments. Even just a slight attack boost. I guess we'll just see what happens. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. It was a pleasure. I hope that you enjoyed the video. And please be sure to check out some of my other climbing activities. I have complete confidence that we will someday reach a much higher tier. We might even get to max someday. I really believe we're capable of it. Especially if we only lose that amount. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Thank you.